Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. All right, halftime is over with, and we are on to the third quarter here this morning. Thanks for hanging out with us, no matter where you're listening to us from. All right. Give us a shout, 715-830-1912. Also, you can join in on the Section 105 chats over there, too. I'm assuming the crew's over there. I haven't headed up, so I don't get sidetracked over there, but I'll check it out here in a little bit. But we're going to get back to some more baseball talk here. I did put up a post-Glass and Mirror 715 Speaks poll question because I was just kind of curious to get everybody's thoughts and reaction to it after the first three games. ABS system, the challenge system for balls and strikes. Do you like it? Do you not like it? I'll be honest. I'm a little surprised at how the voting has gone so far, for how close it is. 80, or I shouldn't say how close, but how the wide margin it is. 88% of you saying you like it. I thought it might be 60-40, kind of like it and such, but the fact that it is blowing, it's out of the water right now. 88% of you like it. Because I'll be honest. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Going into the season with the ABS, I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of like it. Now, I'm like, okay, some of this is just getting ridiculous. Like it's so ticky-tacky on some of that stuff. And, hey, get it right, that sort of thing. But, I mean, you're talking about, like, if I was an umpire, this is just me, but if I was a home plate umpire and I called a ball or I called a strike, whatever, and the catcher, hitter, pitcher challenges it, and it's off by 0.1. Technically, okay, the challenge, they got it right, but I'd be so annoyed. I'm like, seriously, I was that far off. But it's going to look like that, I got it wrong. It's going to go down that I got it wrong, but I was like 0.1 or some centimeters off. Like that to me is the annoying part because you're so dang close. Like, I can't fault a home plate umpire for being like centimeters off on a call. I want this more so the clear and obvious ones. Like, was it Suarez with the Reds? There was that situation where he challenged back-to-back. So the home ump rang him up, challenged it. And it was like probably about an inch or so off. And he, challenged it. Suarez got it right. Next one, home plate ump, rings him up, challenges it again. Boom. He gets it right. So it was, I don't know. I'm a little up in the air at this point. Like the ticky-tack ones, the really close ones, that to me, I don't like. So I'll be honest. Like at the beginning of the season, I was like, oh yeah, this could be cool. This is going to be, it's quick, it's instant, it's like tennis, right? We're going to see the big play on the screen and all that. But now I just fear it's going to be every little close thing, and it's just like, come on now. So I'm a little more indifferent on it, to be honest with you. At this point, I'm a little bit more indifferent on it. Because I can't fault a home plate umpire for being centimeters or a point something off. The clear and obvious ones, absolutely. Get it correct. Call it correctly. Okay? But now I just feel like luckily it doesn't delay it too much. And it's instant and such. But what are your thoughts? If you voted on it, you can text it on over 715-830-1912 or hit us up on the Section 105 chat room. Those are the ways to contribute and such. So, also coming up over the weekend, another thing that's in the running for worst of the weekend. If you haven't made your VFW post 305 best and worst of the weekend, this would also be in the running for worst of the weekend. The NFL. All right, going back to the NFL. They are set to begin hiring replacement officials. So we're just talking about home plate umpires and such. We may now be back to the glory days of replacement officials. There's another glory days for you, brought to you by Summer Jam in Eau Claire. But according to Kevin Seifert and Kalen Kaler from ESPN, NFL owners are alarmed by the state of negotiations with the NFL Referees Association and have authorized staff members to begin hiring and onboarding replacement officials in the coming weeks, league sources said. The NFL began compiling a list of college-level officials to recruit earlier this month, and owners are expected this week to approve a sweeping set of replay enhancements to support replacement officials in preseason and regular season games. According to a source, once that happens, the opportunity to reach an agreement with our current union becomes a bigger challenge just from simple economics. As it says here, that effectively leaves about a month for the sides to bridge what league sources said are wide gaps in their proposals, from economics to the seasonal structure of the job. Oh boy, here we go again. Here we go again. Potential of replacement officials. What? Why are we at this point again? I get it. Maybe this is a deadlines, Spurs action sort of thing. But for crying out loud, we do not need another debacle of the Fail Mary to get this thing rectified. We can't. It can't happen at this level again. And it may not. It might not. But we still have a bad taste, specifically maybe more so Packers fans, have a bad taste from the last time we had replacement officials. And even that one was like replay stuff, right? I mean, for crying out loud. Just reading a little bit more, one of the league sources said the league office is expecting and preparing for a lockout from the officials, referees. We are so close to expiration and so far apart on economics that unless an act of God gets involved, oh, that's great. That's cool. That's great. According to sources, the NFL has offered the Referees Association a 6-year deal that averages annual raises of 6.45%. The average NFL official earned $385,000 in 2025. The league has also pushed the NFL Referees Association to allow several fundamental changes to officials' job structure, which the Referees Association has largely resisted. The owners are alarmed that the negotiation has been as challenging as it's been, a league source said. They are alarmed that the union has resisted the performance and accountability measures. Those measures include increasing the probationary period for new officials from 3 to 5 years, shortening the, quote, dead period during the offseason to allow for more training, including a requirement for lower performing officials to work spring football games to help improve their performances, reducing the seniority-based approach to covering playoff games and largely replacing it with assignment based on performances. We really want to follow the model, which is the NFL's kind of DNA of you pay for performance, a league source said. You have to perform every day. Players do it, coaches do it, lawyers do it, owners do it, and we continue trying to test ourselves and improve. So I'll say this. If those are the measures, specifically shortening the, quote, dead period during the offseason to allow for more training, including a requirement for lower-performing officials to work spring football games to improve their performance, and reducing the seniority-based approach to covering playoff games and largely replacing it with assignments based on performances, on the surface, and there probably is more to it, but on the surface, just from that part, I don't have a problem with that. Because I think as a fan, and we as fans, we want the best out there. With the highest games out there, playoff games, Super Bowl games, we want the best officials out there, the best referees out there, regardless of how long they've been there and such. We just want the best out there, because what's one thing I think we all get sick and tired of when it comes to football games that we're talking about? They missed that call. They did that call. We don't want calls in any sport to determine outcomes of games or anything like that. We don't want that. We want what's the best available out there. And we want them trained as much as possible. Practice makes perfect. And if they got to do some spring football games, if this is part of the job, like I don't have a problem with that. Don't you want to be better? Don't you want to be really good at your craft? And if that means, all right, if you got graded lower, hey, maybe, summer school I went to summer school for 1 year. Didn't want to, but, did it. Only was a couple weeks, but it was like elementary school, I think. But still, if you are a lower performing official and the NFL wants you to, hey, maybe get a couple games in spring ball to help get better, to help improve, where's the problem in that? I don't have a problem in that. So, John says, my best of the weekend, Brewers sweeping Chicago. Worst is probably the same as everyone else, and that is Tiger Woods. I sure hope Tiger gets the help that he needs. Just a reminder that if you're going to drink, please call someone and get a sober ride home. Well, so one thing, he did blow zeros in that, so it doesn't sound like it's alcohol related. If it is still DUI and such, I know there's still a lot of, again, like we talked about in the first hour, I don't want to point fingers and let's hear the whole story and such. But yeah, he definitely needs to seek some help. I can't imagine the amount of pain that guy has put his body through. I think we're all kind of assuming that maybe it's some painkillers and such that was, maybe what he was under the influence and such. But again, I don't want to fully presume and assume all that sort of stuff. But I think one thing's for certain. That guy, T-Dub, he's my favorite golfer for what he does on the course. Off the course, he's got to get the help that he needs, man. Take care of yourself. I want to see you on the Masters. I want to see you at Augusta National next weekend, but that doesn't matter. You got to take care of yourself first and foremost. So, all right, we got to take a quick break. Let's get back to some more baseball talk. Brewers sweeping the White Sox. Now they've got the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's talk a little baseball coming up after these quick words. Hunting season will be here before you know it, and that preparation starts right now. At Tilden Gun, they know serious hunters don't wait until opening day to get ready. Whether you're gearing up for spring turkey season or maybe planning ahead for fall, now is the time to make sure that your equipment is dialed in. From shotguns and rifles to optics, ammunition, and must-have accessories, Tilden Gun has the selection and expertise to help you step into the woods with confidence. Maybe it's time to upgrade your setup. Maybe it's time to sight in that new optic, or maybe it's just stocking up so that you are not scrambling later. Turkey season demands precision, patience, and preparation. So stop on in, Tilden Gun, and talk with the people who understand the hunt. Because you know what? They live it too. Tilden Gun, get ready now so that you're ready when it matters the most. And don't forget, we got the spring turkey season coming up. We got the youth coming up this weekend. If you do have any luck out there, make sure you share some photos with the rest of us and make us jealous out there for those of us who haven't been able to go out yet or haven't gotten one yet. So, Surveyor, yes, I knew it. Finally, Huts goes down. If your kid were to win it a third year in a row, I was about to take him to the casino and place a bunch of bets. So, yeah, I don't quote me, but I think, Surveyor, it might be between you and I for the bracket challenge. You need Illinois to win. I need UConn to win. And I think it comes down to that. Could be wrong. I might. Don't quote me. All right, don't quote me. There might be something else on that Arizona-Michigan side of things too. So we'll see. But anywho, let's talk some more baseball. 3 games in, let's do some overreactions. By the way, first of all, before we get into it, I don't know if anybody else saw this on social. Don't know if anybody else really cares about it. But the City Connect uniforms, did they get leaked? They might have. And if you saw it, what are your thoughts on it? So there's images being leaked out there that the new City Connect uniforms for the Brewers, they're like maybe like a royal blue color, but on the front it says Wisco. Instead of anything with Milwaukee or anything like that, it says Wisco. And the name on the back, and it looks like the tag on the inside says Forward Wisconsin. Not on the back, it's like an orange. So honestly, I kind of like them. I kind of like them. If those are the ones, I kind of like it. And I know, speaking of uniforms too, there's some rumors, rumblings about Packers' new ones and such. I don't know about that, but yeah, I kind of like it. I'm just gonna say here, if you haven't seen it, look it up. But let's do a little fun overreaction from just 3 games into this Brewer season or to the baseball season in general. All right. What's some fun overreactions based off of just 3 games into this thing? Terang, I mean, you look at some of the numbers offensively that he's putting up there. It feels like he is picked right back up after the World Baseball Classic. He's hitting over 400. Dude looks like he's off to a really good start so far. Joey Ortiz, he's got 4 strikeouts, but everything else, he's been offensive numbers are up there. Christian Yelich is back to 2018, 2019 Christian Yelich. I mean, just, I don't know. Give me some fun Brewers overreactions from this past weekend. And I know we got 158 more of these to go, but I'll keep saying this. Celebrate your wins whenever they happen. I don't care if it's game 1. I don't care if it's game 20, 75, 101, 162. Celebrate each win. Celebrate each win that they happen. And right now, we're still on pace for 162-0, people. All right? Still on pace for that. Bucks 62-0. Only a few other teams can say that. The Marlins, the Dodgers, Yankees, and Blue Jays. All right? 4 of those 5 teams, maybe more legit than the other one. No offense to the Marlins. But, you got to tip your cap. Again, I get it. It's just 3 games into it. But you got to tip your cap to the starts. I think, you look at Bryce Terang, and we know that he's a guy that all offseason, spring training, we've talked about, okay, what else is he going to do from an offensive standpoint? He has gotten better every year offensively that he has been in the league, and he's had a really good World Baseball Classic. And now so far he leads the team in at-bats with 14. And he's hitting .429. He's slugging .643 and an OPS of a 1.110. 3 doubles. 6 of his hits, half of them are doubles. You got to look at the start that he has had, and it's like, all right, dude's just picked up. He continues to roll. Joey Ortiz in 11 at-bats. He's hitting .456 and a .955 OPS. The one kind of bugaboo with him, and he does have 3 RBIs, has been he's struck out 4 times. That's the one kind of bugaboo on here. But at least in the other parts, he's still hitting. And then you look at Yelich. I mean, 10 ABs, 600. On base was 636, slugging 900, OPS of 1.536. That's probably not sustainable, but regardless, those are pretty good numbers. You know, there's only 6 guys, 6 players through 3 games that have credited with double-digit at-bats. That's Turang, that's Bowers, it's Contreras, it's Ortiz, Frelick, and Yelich. But you look at a guy like David Hamilton, okay, acquired as part of the Caleb Durbin trade. He's played in 2 games. He's only credited with 4 ABs because he has walked 4 times. He's already got 4 walks. So does Contreras, but Contreras has done it in 3 games and credited with 11 ABs. But Hamilton has walked 4 times, and he has already stolen 3 bases. We knew about the speed that he was going to bring in, and we knew that if he was going to be in that lineup and he's going to get on base, he's probably going to steal some bags. And so far, he has done just that. You know, from a pitching standpoint, I look at what Aaron Ashby has done in 2 games so far. Coming in relief, opening day, and then on Saturday too. But 2 2/3. He hasn't given up a hit, has issued a couple walks, but he has struck out 6. I think he's off to a good start. Grant Anderson, he's pitched in a couple games. He's pitched 3 innings. He's only given up 1 hit and 1 walk. You look at the bullpen from yesterday's game. You know, we focus on Yelich and that monster shot, and it was awesome. But the Brewers are not able to be in that position if it wasn't for the bullpen locking it down and limiting that damage that was done through the first 3 innings by Brandon Sproat. And Sproat will be better. Okay, he'll be better. His first career start with the Brewers, I've got confidence he will be better. But a ton of credit has to go to the bullpen. You know, Sproat goes just 3 innings and 7 runs. And I know I'm not the only one who thought, looking at that lineup yesterday, was like, oh, okay, it's going to be one of those series is wrapped. We're going to give some guys a day off, and we'll see what happens. That was that kind of lineup. But you look at what the bullpen did after coming in, and it's not like they used a bunch of arms in that game, in yesterday's game either. In fact, when you look at it, the White Sox used more pitchers than the Brewers. And this is with their starter, the Brewers starter, going just 3 innings. Because Anderson came in, gave him 2 innings of 1-hit ball. Koenig came in, 1 inning, 3 Ks. Woodford came in. He got credit with the win. The newcomer comes in, pitches 2 innings, 1 hit. And then you hand the ball off to Trevor McGill for the save opportunity. What the bullpen did, Anderson, Koenig, Woodford, McGill, those 4 pitchers pitching the final 6 innings and giving up 1, 2, 3 total hits and 1 walk. That was it. If it's not for that performance from the bullpen and not allowing any more runs, that Brewers offense isn't able to chip it away and not able to put up that big old 6 spot, that crooked number in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead and hold on. So a ton of credit goes to that pitching staff, to that bullpen, for the job that they did. And really, when you want to look at it, if you want to look at this bullpen throughout this series against the White Sox, okay, so Saturday night, Chad Patrick goes 4 1/3. He's solid, 5 hits, 1 earned run. The bullpen after that, 2 hits. Zerpa gave up both of them, but that was it. Because Ashby came in, pitched 1 2/3, 4 Ks. Uribe comes in, 2 Ks. Hall with an inning. 2 hits in Saturday's game, in Saturday's win. And then you go to opening day. 2 total hits from the bullpen. D.L. Hall gave up a hit, and Woodford gave up a hit, and that was that home run. But that's the only run so far allowed by the bullpen in 3 games. And they haven't been really overused that much. So, yeah, ton of credit to them. What else has stood out to you in the first 3 games of this Brewers' very, very, very young season? Let me know. All right. We got to take a quick break. Back with plenty more coming up after these quick words. If you are in the market for a new vehicle or maybe a brand new used vehicle, high quality used vehicle, look no further than our good friends at Toyson Ford. You can check them out at 1000 Chippewa Crossing Boulevard in Chippewa Falls, or check them out online at toysonford.net. They're proud to serve the drivers of the area with some of the most popular vehicles around Wisconsin and the country, and they're committed to giving the drivers in our area the best in customer service with a top-notch selection of brand-new vehicles to choose from, as well as an extensive inventory of pre-owned vehicles. From the moment you step into their showroom, you are more than just a customer to them. You're an honored guest. So if you're looking, maybe you got a little extra money from that tax return this year, and you're like, you know what? I haven't gotten a new vehicle in forever or in a long time, or a new used vehicle in a long time. Check out Toyson Ford. They can help you out. All right, toysonford.net, or again, 1000 Chippewa Crossing Boulevard in Chippewa Falls. So, Brew Crew back at it today as they're going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. So we get Kyle Harrison on the mound, getting the start for the Brewers today. This is where I'm not to put a lot on the shoulders of the young kid, but Kyle Harrison, I'm really excited to see throughout this season. Not just this game, but I'm really excited to see what he can bring to this squad. And I think the biggest thing with Sproat and Harrison this year is, there's probably going to be some, inconsistencies. There's probably going to be some, ups and downs and such, kind of like what Sproat had yesterday. And Harrison's probably going to do the same thing here too. That's what you're going to get with some younger pitchers, especially now full-time starters within this rotation. You're going to have a little bit of inconsistency and such. But I think Harrison, from a talent side of things, I think this kid can be a really good pitcher. And now you pair him up with the Brewers pitching lab and the Brewers pitching coaches like Chris Hook and Henderson and such. Honestly, I feel like sky's the limit for this guy. So I'm excited to see this guy in action starting tonight, going up against the Tampa Bay Rays. And when you look at this matchup coming up tonight between the Brewers and the Rays, Brewers actually have a little bit of experience going up against the pitcher, Martinez. All right, Nick Martinez coming in, and because he pitched the last couple of years for the Cincinnati Reds. So when you look at it, you've got 5 Brewers with double-digit at-bats throughout their careers against Martinez. Contreras has 15 career at-bats against him. He's got a 6.67 OPS, just 200 batting average. Frelick in 10 career at-bats, 4 RBIs, 400 average, 900 OPS. Garrett Mitchell has even had success against him. 10 career at-bats, 400, and a 1.000 OPS. Yelich, 16 career at-bats, including a homer, 313 average, 916 OPS. And Bryce Harang, 13 career at-bats, including a homer, 231, 824 OPS, though. Gary Sanchez, 7 career at-bats, 429, 1.556. Ortiz does have 9 career at-bats, but he has struggled, 111 and a 311 OPS. So you do have a few guys with quite a bit of experience, 2-3 games worth going up against Martinez, which makes sense. I mean, spending 2 years with the Reds and such. Now, on the flip side, there are a couple of hitters on this Rays team that have about a game's worth of experience going up against Harrison. We're talking about like 2-3 ABs. Fortes, their catcher, has 6 career at-bats, but just 143 OPS and nothing for a batting average. So a little bit, but not a ton. Nothing like what the Brewers have going up against the righty tonight. So maybe a little bit of an advantage for the Brewers because they're familiar with him and such. But I think the biggest wild card tonight is going to be, what's Harrison going to be like? How is he going to look? Is he going to look like maybe what his his final tune-up was against the Reds? Sproat looked good in that game too, and we kind of saw it yesterday. The butterfly is going to get to him a little bit and such. I think that's going to be kind of the big thing for tonight's game is how well is Harrison going to be? How well can he channel those nerves, those butterflies, and that anxiety? Because if he goes out there and he's wheeling and dealing, all right, now we rock and roll, baby. Hey, Brewers, top team right now in 3 games, have a little fun overreaction. Most runs scored. That would be your Milwaukee Brewers. Let's enjoy it. Keep enjoying it. All right. So, looking ahead to the Brewers' schedule here, too. Not to get too far ahead because, baseball, you literally have to take it one game at a time and one day at a time, right? But, just to kind of look ahead, you've got the Rays for a 3-game series here. Then you got the Royals at Kansas City, the first time the Brewers will hit the road. You're talking about American League all over the place because they've got the Royals and then they visit the Boston Red Sox before returning home next weekend, not this coming weekend, but the next weekend in a home series against the Nationals. So, and then if you want a midweek series and see the Blue Jays, maybe a little Dalton Bar show. They're going to be there for a midweek series starting on Tuesday, April 14th, 15th, and 16th. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3-game series. A lot of American League teams coming up in the first month of their schedule. Obviously, the White Sox. Now they got Tampa. Then they'll have Kansas City, Boston, the Blue Jays, and then they got the Tigers for a 3-game series in April as well. So you're talking 6 American League teams through to begin their season. Then they got the Yankees coming up in the beginning portion of May, along with the Twins on there too. So, and then Astros at the end of the month. But kind of, again, continuing to take your thoughts as we're talking baseball. Did you like your first kind of glimpse of the ABS system, the challenges of the balls and strikes? Even if you voted on our 715 Speaks poll question brought to you by Post Glass and Mirror, did you like it? Did you not? 84% of you saying you liked it. I'm a little surprised it is that big of a gap. 16% of you said, no, you don't. Tell me why. All right, tell me why you did. Tell me why you didn't. I want to get your feedback, your analysis on it. All right, we got to take our final break, and then the third quarter is going to be in the books, and then we're going to be entering the fourth and final hour, the fourth quarter. We'll do that right now. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Pain does not have to slow you down, and at Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, their experienced team is focused on getting you back to doing what you love, whether that's competing on the field or staying active or simply moving without discomfort. From joint pain and sports injuries to advanced surgical and non-surgical treatments, they provide personalized care designed around you. Local experts, advanced techniques, real results. If pain is holding you back, take the next step towards recovery. That's Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better every single day. So, all right. We only got about 7 minutes left to the top of the hour, so continue to send me your VFW Post 305 best and worst from the weekend. All right? There's a lot of goods. You got a lot to choose from. And I can't fault you if you can't narrow it down to just one, because I couldn't narrow it down to just one. So, but what is the best of the weekend in your opinion? And then give me what was the worst. Sports related, right? Sports related from the weekend. We'll hit those up, hit some more up coming up in the next hour. Matt LaFleur, he's going to talk with the media for the first time since before he got his contract extension, before Jonathan Gannon was hired, before a new offensive coordinator, before all these new players. So he's at the NFL owners meeting, breakfast, little Q&A with the media. If you were a legit member of the media and asking a legit question to him at that table, what would you ask him? All right, you get one question. What would you ask Matt LaFleur at the breakfast table? All right. Got a good one? Let me know. Send it on over. 715-830-1912. Or hit me up on the Section 105 chat room. I'll check that out here in just a little bit. So we'll get to that coming up in the next hour. We'll continue our baseball chat here this morning. And now that the Bucs season is practically done with, right? I mean, they're eliminated from postseason play. They got 8 more games left to go in this thing. But kind of an early, I guess, pump the brakes full throttle. Is this the most crucial, unknown, pivotal, scary offseason in Bucs history? The biggest unknown, and it all surrounds one individual. The Greek freak Giannis. What are they going to do? A season, an offseason that is going to be coming up that is... Get ready. Buckle up. You know, we talk about like summer months, especially maybe July and such, kind of a slow time in the sports calendar year. You got baseball and such going on, but man, maybe with the Bucs, there might be a lot of stuff going down with this thing. And I don't have a good feeling either way. I'm right down the middle. I guess if I had to pick somewhere where I was leaning towards, I'd probably pick the side leaning a little bit more towards I don't think he's going to be back, and I feel like he's going to be traded, but wouldn't be the last time. It wouldn't be the first, and wouldn't be the last time that I would be wrong. So, but how do you think this is? And I get it. Maybe some of us. I'll admit I wasn't around during Kareem. That one, obviously, that would be in the running for anybody who was around during that time and such. But I guess for me, for my lifetime, this is no doubt right up there as the biggest offseason in Milwaukee Bucks history. Because you keep Giannis, that means you're still trying to compete for championships. If you trade Giannis, you're going through a reset. You're going through a little bit of a rebuild. There is no middle ground in this thing. There's just not. They may say, hey, you know, let's say they trade Giannis, okay? They trade him. They may say, hey, we're not rebuilding. We're still the same goal and blah, 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 blah. No. Because then you're going to have a new head coach. You got to have a new head coach. There's just no way you run it back. No way. You can't. It would not make any sense. None whatsoever. No. I don't even want to fathom that possibility. But all right, so we'll hit that up coming up in the next hour as well. So plus, yeah, we'll get to some more football talk with the coaches' breakfast coming up. What would you ask Matt LaFleur? We'll talk a little green and gold here. Again, probably not going to learn a whole lot today, but you know, we'll see. It's the first time the coach has talked since right after the conclusion of the season. I'll revisit the questions that I would ask Coach LaFleur at the breakfast table and such. So, and then going back to the Brewers here for their first 3 games, the series sweep against the White Sox. If you had to pick one thing that maybe impressed you the most, or what stood out to you the most from this series win, what was it? For me, it was the bullpen. I'd throw the bullpen in there. They looked awesome. I get it. It was the White Sox. Okay. Non-Brewers fans can poo-poo on it, or even some Brewers fans can poo-poo on it if they want. It was the White Sox. I get it. I understand. But you know what? The Brewers did their job. They did what they were supposed to do against an opponent that is not supposed to be as good as you. You didn't play down to them. You took care of business. You did your job. You won the series. You swept the series. Okay? So poo-poo on it all you want. Some teams, Cubs, didn't do their job this past weekend. Brewers did. They took care of business. Because what has been one gripe over Brewers fans for the last few years, sometimes it feels like they what? Play down to their competition. Well, they opened up the season with the series sweep, and they didn't play down to that competition. They took care of business. They came back in that final game and picked up that series win. So I tip my cap to them. I tip my cap to them for doing their job and doing it well. That's the thing, too. I know, like, sounding like, hey, doing your job kind of makes it sound a little nonchalant, that excited. They did it well. A job well done. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut me off here in just a few seconds. So we'll lead it off talking a little green and gold, as I know I saw online here some of the media members getting set to chat with Coach LaFleur coming up in less than an hour. So what questions would you throw out there? All right, y'all, I know you all do, because you gripe or you complain or you compliment him at times. So, all right, you're in the driver's seat. You get to ask a question. What would it be? Okay? What would it be? I got a few, but I'm asking one. Just one.